Everyone. Welcome back. Thanks for watching my YouTube channel. In past three, part one and part two and part three, we have seen how we can configure Azure Workbench and can deploy a blockchain app, prototype app on Azure Workbench. In this part, we are going to see that what transactions we are performing on Azure Workbench. So how we can generate a report using Power BI. You can see here on in part one, we have set up a Ethereum network and deploy Azure Workbench. After that, part two, we have seen how we can register a Azure AD tenant account and register a multiple user on blockchain Azure Workbench. Then we have seen how we can deploy a sample app from Azure samples and on Azure blockchain and can perform a transactions. So let's see this is the Azure Workbench resources we have deployed in part 1, 2, and 3. So if you see, we have a SQL Server database and we have app service. App service is our Azure Workbench. On Azure Workbench, we have deployed two applications. One was asset transfer and second was bazaar listing system. And in part 3, we have also seen that how we can see the data of Azure Workbench, whatever the transactions we have performed in asset transfer, like we have performed two transactions for offered means for selling a bike and selling oranges. Let me make one more transactions. Suppose I want to sell t-shirts and cost is 150 USD. So you can see there third transaction is creating. So these all transactions I want to see in my report, Power BI report. So first of all, we'll see how we can see this data in SQL Server database. So as we have seen in part 3, we have a SQL Server and SQL Server database. So make sure to communicate from Power BI report, your firewall from SQL Server should be enabled. So how you can go and check firewall? You need to go in SQL Server and there is a firewall and virtual networks. So you need to come here and you need to click on add client IP. So it will enable your public IP and it will open the firewall rule for you. So I have already added my client IP is here and you can see here I have also allowed Azure services and resources to access this server. What it means is it will allow you to access all the Azure services uh, to with Azure Workbench. So suppose if you are performing any transactions by using Logic App or by using some other service like Azure Functions, so it will be able to communicate with your Azure Workbench. So let's see how we can connect to SQL Server database to our Power BI report. So make sure before connecting to Power BI, you should have downloaded a Power BI desktop application. So there is a two prerequisites. So you need to deploy. You need to first complete part 1, 2, and 3 for configuring Azure Workbench and deploy app, and then you need to download a Power BI desktop. So let's see how we can connect to Power BI desktop. So we have a SQL Server database. This is my SQL Server database, and this is my SQL Server name. I will just go and click on Get Data, and we have option for SQL Server. I will provide a SQL Server name and click OK. So it will ask your credentials like username and password. I have already connected one time, so that's why it is auto connected because it's saved in my I think cache. So I want to generate a report by using contract, suppose contract actions. So you can see what are the contract actions data here. These are my contract actions data, distributed ledger, and what is the make offer, who have performed these transactions like demo one, Asif have performed these transactions. So what is the workflow, is it inspector or offer price. So all these transactions data we can see here. Even though we can also see we have a three contracts, and we can also see what is the contract states. So let me take contract action one and user. So I can just load these two views. It may take 1 to 2 minutes to load the views in your Power BI report, and then we can just drag and drop as usual normal reports. So you can see that how easy it is to generate a report, Power BI report from Azure Workbench transactions. So in similar way, we can also configure Cosmos DB. We can also configure IoT applications to perform any transactions on Azure Workbench. So there are a couple of ways. So Azure Workbench is a really good integration tool to perform such transactions. So let's say I want to do a pie chart. I want to choose a field of workflow, and then I want to choose display by name, contract by display by address, and a user ID. So you can see here I've chosen the field, and based on my fields the data is changing from here. So same as it is, we can also means generate a multiple like pie chart or some other chart, and we can choose a field from here. So this is very simple use case. You can make a more complex reports by using Azure, means by using Power BI reports. So you can get the data. So you can configure SQL Server database or any other server database, SQL Server database and Cosmos DB to get the data. Thanks for watching. Uh, so please provide your feedback if you have any, or if you can may ask any questions, or you can email me. Thanks for watching this video.